Hey, what is going on guys? In this video I'm doing a review of the Logitech Z623 speaker system, and yes, I do say Z because I am Canadian. This is a 2.1 system, which basically means it has two regular speakers and one subwoofer, and just going over the appearance, you'll notice that it has a really cool sleek looking design to it. The dimensions of the subwoofer is 302 by 264 by 283 millimeters, and what you guys are seeing right now is the bottom of the subwoofer and one of the satellite speakers, which is the same as the other one. I wanted to show you the bottom of both because you actually notice that they have rubber padding at the bottom. So if you're using the right speaker, which has a control button, and you press it, it won't move backwards because it has an adequate amount of grip on the bottom. But this rubber also serves another purpose, that it'll protect your fragile surface if you have it on, say, a glass shelf somewhere. Switching over to the back, starting at the bottom of the subwoofer, we have the permanently attached power cord, an RCA connection for the left channel speaker, the right channel speaker connection, which I'll talk about in just a bit more, the 3.5mm jack, which is primarily used for connecting your computer, and of course just above that you have the left and right RCA connection, which means you can connect your video game console or TV, Blu-ray player or media player to this speaker system. Now going back over the right speaker connection, as I wanted to show you guys, this is the proprietary port and wire that it connects. This is not a VGA wire that you would use for computer monitor. This has been confirmed that it is different from VGA. And this is a problem because changing this wire is near impossible. Even Logitech doesn't sell an extension wire for this connection. So the problem with the speaker lengths is that the left and right speaker wires are both just over 5 feet in length, but the left speaker channel is easy to extend. The right channel uses a proprietary wire, which is near impossible to find, and it might not be long enough for some people's setups like my own. For example, I can't even put my two monitors side by side. I actually have the right monitor slightly behind the main monitor, which doesn't look like a major deal at this angle, but when you're actually sitting in front of it, it is a bit awkward. So do keep in mind that the length of the right speaker is going to be an issue for a lot of people. Going back to the subwoofer, on the left side we actually have the air vent, which air flows in and out. Then of course at the front we have the subwoofer speaker itself, enclosed in metal mesh. And for the dimensions of the satellite speakers, it's 126 by 114 by 200 millimeters. Now keep in mind that the left channel isn't as wide because it doesn't have buttons sticking out like the right side. So the right side on the front, you'll notice that you have a power button, the volume control button, and bass control levels. And on the left side of the right speaker, we have one port for connecting your headphones and another port for a 3.5mm headphone jack, which you can actually connect to your smartphone or tablet to feed the sound to the speakers. In terms of power, these speakers actually have 400 watts of total power, which is a bunch of garbage. The more important thing to note here is that they have 200 watts RMS total power. The subwoofer alone has 130 watts RMS, whereas each satellite speaker has 35 watts RMS. Now that might not sound like a lot for the satellite speakers, but believe me, these speakers pack a huge amount of punch and power in such a small body and design. Not only that, they're also THX certified, so you're also getting very crisp sound. And the sound quality is fantastic whether you're watching a movie, playing video games, or even just listening to music. You will not be disappointed with the quality of these speakers. Now I'm sure some people will ask the really daft question of producing a sample of sound quality of these speakers, which doesn't make sense, because first off, the audio transferring to my camera mic will not be as good as human ears. Secondly, if you're watching this video, you're most likely not watching them on the Z623. You're watching them on a different speaker set on a tablet or different computer speakers or whatever. The point is, you're watching them on different speakers, which would just make the sound clarity sound different from what these speakers can actually produce. So for me to actually demonstrate this clarity and power these speakers can output is actually impossible. You can only actually know how good these speakers are by actually listening to them in person. But for some people that are really desperate to get even just the smallest hint as to what kind of sound these speakers can produce, I will be providing a separate clip in which you can download or possibly stream off the internet. You can find a link to that video in the video description. The reason I'm not doing it here is because I'm demonstrating music being played back, which of course is a big problem with YouTube legal problems. So to avoid all those legal issues, I've decided to just put that video separately and a link in the video description in which I'm demonstrating the speakers. But again, you will not get the real quality. You must hear them in person to really appreciate their power and clarity. And lastly, what you guys are seeing is my current desk setup, and where the chair's position is where I usually sit. And you'll notice the two satellite speakers next to my two monitors. This is the distance I usually have my body from the speakers, and I can only keep the speakers at quarter volume. That's how much power they produce, otherwise it's too loud. Also keep in mind that when nothing is playing, I can't hear any hissing noise, which is good. There's next to no static being played. And unlike some cheap speakers, when you change the volume, they sometimes give some distortion. These speakers don't. They provide almost next to no hissing noise, and when changing the volume, you don't hear any crackling. So what more can I say than these speakers are awesome? Keep in mind, one important thing I want to mention is that there's no remote control for these speakers. So if you plan to plug it into a TV and play video games on it, you're gonna have to get up and change the volume on the right channel itself, which I don't consider a big deal considering the small price of these speakers, and it is a 2.1 channel system. Now, having these speakers THX certified is nice, but that's not the main thing. Don't get me wrong, THX is awesome, but it's the fact that they're 200 watts RMS packed in a tiny package. The speakers are quite compact, but they produce a lot of power. When playing Splinter Cell Blacklist, I was in a level where there's a lot of thunder and lightning, and the thunder, whenever it cracked, the bass would actually be, well, great. It would actually make the video game environment feel that much more realistic thanks to the awesome subwoofer. But despite the two satellite channels being small, they produce awesome sound. My main gripe, and this will actually affect a lot of people in similar situations as myself due to the physical environment of the speakers and where you're placing them, is extending the wire of the right channel. It is not easy. You can't use VGA. People have confirmed this on the internet like crazy. The right channel wire looks like it has a VGA connection. It is not. It is a special proprietary connection you'll have to find somewhere on the internet to adjust and alter and make it longer somehow. Overall, these speakers are fantastic. I was actually eyeing some Bose speakers. I think the Bose Companion, I forgot which version, but the price was so high. But I find it bizarre that Bose doesn't advertise the watts or watts RMS anywhere. It's like they just want you to buy it hoping that you're gonna like it no matter what. I don't regret buying these speakers. The power they produce is unbelievable. So if you're looking for a 2.1 channel speaker system, look here. These might be exactly what you need to get. So if you guys found this video useful, be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter links in the video description. Hit the like button, it does help, subscribe, and thanks for watching.